If you are looking for creating a web application for your business, the no-code platform Budibase might be the perfect solution for you. Hi, in this video we'll take a closer look at Budibase, a no-code platform web app builder packed with tons of features. The chosen approach to build apps is very practical. It's segmented in three main parts. Data, with an approach like Airtable to create and structure your business data. Design, a powerful web app builder with many components perfectly integrated with the project data. And automation to perform actions from outside events or at regular times. Let's discover how it reflects on the platform and all the features available around it. You have many options available to install Budibase. The first one is to self-host yourself on your favorite cloud provider or on servers you own. The second one is to use Budibase cloud solution, so you just click it install and you just have to use the product. Or you can use Elestio, our platform, to also install it in just one single click. So let's do it together. Go to ls.io, hit login, then click on deploy my first service. From here you have the open source services, so search Budibase, hit select. Select the region you want to use. I will use Scaleway because it's the new cloud provider that we now support. You choose your region, the configuration that you need, and hit next. Then you select the level of support you need and create service. We will receive an email as soon as it's ready. Now I have the email, I can go and click here to get the password. I land on my instance dashboard. I can click to copy the password here, and I have the admin UI link. I click on it. I need an account to log in. The email is the one from my Elestio account, and the password is in my clipboard. I can go and click login to Budibase. As it is a fresh instance without application, I have an onboarding, so let's set a business app name, and URL will be business app. So, okay, let's go. Now I can connect it with multiple data service, either CSV, Postgre, SQL Server, MySQL, but I will use Budibase sample data, which will be good for a demonstration. I arrive on the app builder. There is also an onboarding explaining us that we have data here. Then you have design, where you build your application around the data you created. And automation, okay. You can also manage your users from here. And once everything is good, you can publish it. Okay, perfect. We will spend more time on each section together. Let's go back to data. We know we have some data and we will spend more time together on it later, but just let's have a look at what we have. So employees table, okay, with user and info. The expenses, which are things paid by the company, I guess. Inventory. Okay, and jobs, maybe it's, or it's tasked to do by the employee, if I'm correct. Okay, so let's jump to design and create an app from those data. By default, we have a top bar with the logo and the menu. Because we have multiple screens, we are on the home screen. We will see later how to create other one, but let's start with the home one. It's empty, so we can add components. And on the right, you can see all the components available to use easily because it's connected to data and it's no code, so you just use it and benefit from it. We've seen in the database that there are jobs available. Let's look how we could add a screen to add other jobs. We can do it in different ways. The first one would be to go to the form section and to create it manually with the fields we want and to have control over it. Or we can use blocks, which are pre-made components, a very useful one, that will connect automatically and build everything for you. It's less customizable, but faster and very useful. So the name, new job submission, it can be from different types, so create, update, or just view the data. The table we want to use is the jobs table. Let's have a look at the fields section. So either we add one column YBAN one that we want to edit, but let's say we want to almost add every fields. We can add all columns and then remove the one that we don't want. For example, updated price, we don't want at the creation, so we don't take it. Hit save. And if we scroll, we can see that we don't have the updated price column, so our form is automatically generated. We can customize the button. So here it's save on the top right. You can change the label, and you have those small bold sign that help you connect it to actions. Here, as it is a label, instead of just writing the text manually, you can use some data to display dynamic text here. But here we just want save, so let's keep it. Let's have a look at the styles. For this one, we only have access to some margin, so it's the form component margin to other components, and the size, but we want it to be responsive and good. But we can also add custom CSS, which is very useful if we want to make it look as we want. Okay, so now we have our form. Maybe we are happy having it, so let's hit preview and see the app in action, what it looks like. Okay, I didn't see that I wrote Ozness. Okay, so we have our form here. Let's say we hit save. It will tell me that the fields are required. Why is it so? Because I didn't do anything. This is because the data itself has a required field. So if we look maybe at the column, here we can see it's required. So automatically it will look at the table scheme at that column. And if it's required, you can't have data missing. Okay, let's go back to design and create another screen. So here we were in one screen. We can go upper, two screens, and add screen. We have the choice between a blank screen or a list view. Blank screen is what we just did, adding components manually, or we can use list view, which looks like a table. Let's have a look at what we have. Let's say we want to create a dashboard for our expenses and hit confirm. You can select the level of access. So if you specified some rules for your user who has access to what data, but let's keep it simple and go with the basic one. Okay, so here I have that table block with all the expenses, but we want to create a dashboard. So let's add other component to that page. We have blocks, and let's add a chart block. Okay, so by default, it opens with error. It's just because it needs to know on what we want to build our chart. So on the right, we can name it. Let's say expenses by tags. The chart type will be a pie. The data will also be expenses. Let's set correctly the column of our pie chart. So the label will be the expense tags, and what will be used to aggregate those data will be the cost. And here we generated easily a data visualization from that table, and you can see the cost of the different tags. So for example, equipment is 2,500, while fee services is way less. It's not a complete solution for data visualization, but still you have options like filtering. You can add filters on your columns. You can also sort by the data you want. So it's quite handy to create very nice dashboards. Let's say we want our dashboard to be more than just graphs and we want to explain things. We can add other components. For example, just a headline. By default, it's on the bottom, but we have a visual editor, so we can drag and drop components. Now the headline is here, and let's say dashboard expenses, even if it's not good, it's just for a demonstration purpose. Okay, let's add another component, a paragraph. and say this chart shows 2023 expenses. Let's move it. Oopsie. This chart shows 2023 expenses. Well, when I click out, it reset the text, which is a bit weird, but okay. At least you see in action if we have any issue. And let's drag and drop it on the top. And here it is. You have other components available, and you can build it with a better UI than mine. Speaking of the look of our application, of course, it comes with a default one, but you can customize it. This is the third button here. You can choose the theme. So by default, you can have a light or dark theme, or node, which is grayish blue. You can select the button roundness. So there are default settings, but it instantly changes the aspect of your application. And because it's minimal options, you won't break the UI and do something not good looking. We can also adjust it even more by changing the width in navigation, the logo if we want to display a logo or not, and the title we can edit and fix my mistake I made previously. Okay, so you can see it's quite easy, and you will always have something configurable. Something crucial too is the thing that it's by default responsive. So if you look it on mobile, you can see we have the menu with our two screens, home and expenses. You can see our table is scrollable, and here we have the pie chart that looks like it can't scroll, but it's not the simplest component when you're using Graph to make it responsive. Let's jump to the last tab, automation. We have data, we have our app made in design, and now we want to run jobs automatically by events or just by recurring tasks. We can do it, so hit create automation. You can have different triggers to define action you will launch. So let's say daily task. You can do it when a row is created, updated, deleted, or using a webhook. So maybe you have a backend elsewhere or a Zapier integration. It can connect it easily. An action in the app or a cron trigger. And that's what we will use because we want it to run daily. Hit save. And here we can customize our cron. It's telling me expression, so the expression is how often our job runs. There are some presets. Let's say every morning at 8 a.m. So this is that syntax, and you can browse online cron expression. You will find tools to assist you to find the correct one. Once you have the trigger of that automation, then you can hit plus and run different kind of actions. So you can have it easily connected to Discord, Slack, Zapier, and Make. So it's already a lot because from there you can connect it to all the applications that you want, or you can use default actions that are integrated by default on Budibase, like sending an email. I can't do it yet because I didn't set up an SMTP server. You can create rows, execute code, or use conditions to conditionally run other tasks. So it's quite a powerful tool to build automation. Now let's say we are happy with our application. We can exit and go to portal. What is great is that on one single instance, we can create multiple applications without increasing our costs. We started an application from scratch, from create new app in the onboarding process, but we can also use templates available separated by categories. So maybe there's already something quite useful as a starting point from you. Then on the portal, the different options you have are the management of your users and groups. So you can add user and add the level of permission they have. You can also add plugins. You have the GitHub repository. From there, you have a list of many plugins that you can install on your instance and make it more customizable and more suited to your need. And finally, you have the settings. So the way you authenticate, the email. So if you add your SMTP server, you will be able to connect it to your automation tab. You can manage your organization, the branding of Budibase interface. From some features like this one, you can see that you need a business license, but it's something that if you need, you can do it. You can also define environment variables. And finally, on the account tab, you can see your usage. So even if it's free plan because it's self-hosted, you have an unlimited number of applications. You can install up to 10 plugins and you have unlimited access to most of it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If it's the case, please hit the like button as it really helps the channel grow and be more visible to open source and no-code tools lovers. To not miss the upcoming overview of open source tool we will feature, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And if you can't wait until next week, you can discover this other no-code app builder by watching this video here.